Hello everyone, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We're going to be painting this gradient landscape today. So grab your piece of paper. The first thing that I'm doing is just wetting the back of my piece of paper. And this is simply because I'm using cotton paper and cotton paper buckles quite a bit. I mean, all watercolor paper buckles when you paint on it, but I received this tip from several of you guys on one of my videos. Tried it out on a video and it worked out really great. So I'm just starting off by wetting the back before I completely wet the front. I'm using a mop brush here by Winsor & Newton, and you're welcome to add it to your own collection if you're interested. I've linked it in the description. Okay. So now my gradient is going to be like this intense red-yellow gradient. So I'm starting at the top with a nice red. And I'm grabbing my yellow and I'm just applying that to the middle portion. So I'm gonna have a little bit more yellow on the bottom than at the top. So think of your painting as two halves. And the bottom is going to have a bit more yellow because it's going to be the sunset sort of fading onto the water. And I'm applying that same intense red to the bottom, fading it into my yellow. Now I'm just applying yellow onto the red to make that transition a little bit more seamless. Because if I did the opposite, if I applied more red, then I would lose all that yellow coverage. This way it kind of turns into an orange as it fades into the red. And I'm just applying the red again on the top and the bottom because when I faded out my yellow, it muted the red a little bit, and I do want that red to be quite intense. Okay, so once you're happy with your gradient, you're just going to let it completely dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, so once your gradient has completely dried, we can begin to paint the details of our painting here. So to make it easier for ourselves, you can draw a horizon line using a pencil and a ruler. So I am going to just quickly do that. That is about half, I would say. And then you can take black watercolor And we're gonna paint a little mountainous scene here, and it's not gonna be, you know, massive mountains, but just so that there's some sort of horizon going on in the background. So now that we have our fairly straight horizon line, you can go in and kind of paint the little mountainous areas that you wish. Now I've also taken my flat brush and just dipped it into some very watered down black watercolor, and I'm just gonna paint reflections coming from our little mountains. So I'm just using the tip of the brush and I'm dragging it horizontally. And that creates a very natural reflection look. Now we can also paint some reeds coming from the corner of our painting here. So I've taken a size 1 Winsor Newton brush, and here I'm just, and this is a much longer brush, it has longer bristles, so it's a lot easier to paint long brush strokes, uninterrupted brush strokes. And so I'm painting reeds and other leafy foliage. Just went up a little bit closer so you could see how I'm painting on the leaves of these reeds. I'm just using the length of the brush to press down and create the leaf shapes. And I'm also going to have some grass kind of swooping downwards as well. Yeah, so here I'm just trying to fill in some space at the bottom with silhouettes. So you can paint on as many as you're comfortable with, as many as you'd like. I just keep going until I feel like it looks full. So the final touch, I suppose, is adding the setting sun. So I'm gonna add mine here. And I'm just gonna paint a white circle using acrylic paint. A lot of people, I don't know what the stuff is called, masking fluid maybe, but they just paint a circle with the masking fluid and then just peel it off after they've painted their gradient. And if I had masking fluid, that's definitely what I would do. simply because it's a lot more intense than the acrylic paint that I'm using. It's like super, super white. But if you don't have masking fluid like me, then white acrylic paint does the job just fine. You can even paint some, you know, flying birds going over the sun to add something in the sky. But other than that, we are all finished. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and I will see you in the next one.